What up, my nerds? Welcome back to MechWarrior Online. Today, I'm going to take another look at the Shadowcat, which has got to be the sexiest mech that ever there was. I mean, look at this goddamn chicken walker. She's a beauty, isn't she? This is the reason to play Clan IMO. Oh, Christ. I just, look, regardless of the fact that it seems to be a good idea to buy all the variants of a particular mech if you want to master it. I would just have a whole stable of these, just filling different roles, and I would be totally happy with that. Holy shit, I love this thing. Okay, and luckily it just happens to be a pretty decent mech anyway, regardless of looks. But you know, we're all about mech porn on this channel. Alright, so this is the very first mech I ever purchased. Previously, I played a lot with the Prime variant, the trial mech, which thankfully seems to be constantly available. And this is pretty solid. It's got two large pulse lasers, of course. Now, I can't remember the range on those bad boys, but I definitely remember playing it like a sniper. And, you know, I was fairly good with it. You know, I wouldn't say amazing, but I was fairly consistent, and by the end of the match, I would consistently get about 300 damage, which I thought, you know, was pretty good. I know it's not absolutely amazing, but you know, I was happy with it. I was so pleased with it, I decided to buy it. Like I said, this is the first mech I ever bought, and here it is. But then I ruined it. I thought I'll buy it and customize it, it'll be great. And I wanted to make it more of a sniper, so I put some ballistics on it, and I was absolutely terrible. Whether the build I put together was trash or just the way that I played it was trash, I can't really say. But I played it as a sniper, and I wasn't doing much damage at all, even though I could hit from really far away. And as a result, not doing much damage, it would cause me to expose myself for longer to get a few more hits out because I was trying to be greedy with my damage. And it resulted in me dying a lot. So I stopped playing the Shadowcat, unfortunately. At least the one I'd purchased. I did still play around with the trial mech, which I felt was a much better build. Alright, so I earned a few more credits, and I've just, you know, kitted it out to something that I fucking love more than anything in the world. Holy shit. It's amazing. I admit, I just went to MetaMechs and I had a look at what was there, what were the sort of, you know, accepted decent builds, and I just picked one. It's not the best one there, because I think like a laser vomit or something, just load up on medium lasers is the highest damage, but I wanted something a little bit different, and I went with streaks here, and holy shit, I've never done so much damage in a medium mech. It's incredible. It is tricky. There's a little bit of a risk-reward sort of gameplay going on there, but we'll get into that more in the actual game that's coming up in a second. But for the moment, you know, I will put a link to the build in the description, but just to show you here in the video as well, it's pretty simple. It's just 3 streaks and 2 medium lasers. So if you've run out of ammo, or if you haven't got a clean shot, you hit them with the lasers, and once you get that clean shot, you pump them with the streaks. The build guide suggested that you go after small mechs, you know, light mechs predominantly, but you know, not a lot of people play light. You know, there's usually a couple, but I've been having some success pounding the big guys, you know, sticking with my group, sticking with my lance, and we just wreck face. Holy shit. It's really cool. But, you know, without any further gilding the lily, and with no more ado, let's actually get to the game here. Alright, so this has been a learning experience. I've got to play completely differently to the way I played the Shadowcat previously. Of course, previously I was using it as a sniper, and now I've got to get in like within 100 meters, which is totally different. Now, it's usually a pretty good game if I stick with my lance. There's no problem. The big guys protect me. I don't usually get targeted as a result, because, you know, the heavies and assaults are, I guess, more threatening. Haha, they don't know what I'm packing though. So we're usually fine. The only problem there, as I'm sure you well know, is that relies on your team being not stupid, which is always a gamble. And whether it's because they're inexperienced or they're just bad anyway, or, you know, sometimes it's just a bad game. We all have bad games. We all have bad days where we just don't think, or we miss something, or what, for whatever reason. If your team doesn't do what you expect them to do, you're kind of fucked. I'm often the guy sort of leading the charge for whatever reason. I just go to where I feel I need to go, and people follow me a lot of the time. But I feel like I can't do that with this build. I've definitely got to hang back and use the cover of the heavies and the assaults. So it's a little bit hit and miss. I have actually been losing more games, but I've been getting a much higher score. I guess I guess it balances out, doesn't it? So basically what I'll be doing here is I'll be ducking and weaving, and taking pot shots, trying to sneak up on the big guys and not get hit. You're just about to see me fail and take a big face full of missiles, I think. It seems to be happening more often with this build. But, you know, it's also not like my favorite map here. I don't hate it. I'm sort of learning to love this Manifold, I think it is. I don't know all the names of the maps off by heart yet. Haven't really needed to. I just like, oh yeah, it's the one with the river, or the one that looks like the Borg cube. There you go. But here's a perfect example of, you know, where to use lasers as opposed to streaks. That was not the right time to use my streaks, because he was just ducking behind a pillar there, and I thought I was going to be able to hit him just a little bit before he got, you know, out of my line of sight, but I was unable to do so. So yeah, you've definitely got to think about conserving ammo here, because I have had a handful of games that I've been like the sole survivor and I've run out of ammo, and then I'm sort of like, I'm just shit out of luck, you know, because my teeth are gone. And depending on the game mode, you know, sometimes I can pull it out of the fire, sometimes I can't. With this mech, with, you know, light and medium mechs in general, because that's kind of all I play now, I don't think I've touched a heavy or an assault, God, for like 2 years. But, you know, with the lighter mechs, I'm starting to really hate the skirmish game mode. Mediums and lights are not useless in skirmish, but they sort of have a harder time, in my opinion, because there isn't that secondary objective to handle. A lot of the time in the Shadowcat, I find myself winning for the whole team. You know, not to brag, but I see that the team's dying off, it's all going south, so I just rush to the objective and I win us the match with, you know, as the last guy standing. And it feels pretty good. But if that was skirmish, I'd have no opportunity to do that. So I do get a little bit salty whenever the team votes for skirmish. And it's like, come on, man, let me do something here. But in any case, you know, as you can see, we're just sort of ducking and weaving, taking little pot shots whenever I can, trying my best to stay out of the line of fire, which is new for me, because I'm so used to playing at a longer range, and now suddenly I'm at, you know, 300 meters from my targets. It gets a little bit hairy, and I've got to reprogram my brain here. So, you know, sometimes I let myself take some hits like that, whereas really I should have taken one shot, change position. So it's almost, in some ways, it's more of a traditional sniper mentality here, even though I'm at close range. So, you know, of course, if you've played snipers in first-person shooters for any extended period of time, you should know that you want to take your shot and then change position. Take your shot, change position, you know, as often as you can to prevent the enemy from finding where you are, because you want to stay hidden. And that's very much how I feel this build should be played. I just don't always remember to do that. So as you can see, I've taken quite a lot of damage here. You know, probably more than I would like. But, you know, I'm laying in that damage. Surprisingly, oftentimes when I'm rocking this build, I feel like the enemy just overlooks me because there are bigger guys around me. So definitely sticking with your team, more importantly, sticking by your heavies and your assaults, is immensely helpful. because there's just that inherent, you know, risk associated with the big guys that as a result, people sort of dismiss you despite the fact that you're rocking all this potential damage. And this is absolutely the most damage I've ever pulled out of a medium mech. I'm under no illusions or delusions, whatever the term is, that you can get more damage out of a medium mech than I am here, but this is just my personal experience as the highest damage medium build I've ever had, which is incredible. So you're about to see me do something probably stupid. As of the recording of this match, I wasn't actually sure what you gain from taking out the secondary bases, the mobile bases, I think they're called. Yeah, just really had no idea what it did. But usually whenever I got the chance and no one was bothering me, I'm like, okay, well, I'll shoot at the mobile base a couple times. It can't be bad, right? I've since done some research, and I believe what it does is it gives you a little more time on the objective or something like that. So, I don't know. Most of the time I feel like it's not worth it. But you're about to see me, if memory serves, you're about to see me try and take out the base and then go, actually, you know, this is probably a stupid idea. And then I run off. So I end up wasting a little bit of time there. But, you know, as you can see, I'm getting a little bit too bold here. Again, like I said, it's just reprogramming my brain to just be sneakier, and it's okay to run away, you know, stay alive. It's, there you go, there we go. Just taking a couple pot shots and then realizing, you know what, I should probably help my team out instead. And at this point, it was sort of like, you know, while I was playing at least, it was a little bit touch and go as to like, not really sure who's going to win this one. But I am seeing a lot of red on the map there. And then I realized that there's no one on the objective. It's like, oh shit. I better go save the team. So, of course, you know, me being in a faster mech than a lot of the others, being a medium, you know, I figure it is my job whenever possible to rush to the objective, to save it if I can. So that's what I end up doing here. And now we get to the end of the game here. And I am either, you know, I'm not sure if at this point in time I'm the sole survivor, but I very soon will be. So it's very... This is always really fun, but also really scary, because it's like, I'm not going to win. Unless it's like Conquest. Conquest, I can win as a sole survivor. Because most of the time, I just happen to be on the team that is winning anyway. And the opponent focuses on taking out our mechs instead of capturing the objective, which is clearly the wrong move, because then I swoop in, like I said earlier in the video, I swoop in and I win us the game as the sole survivor, which is absurd to me. That's like totally salting the wound as far as I'm concerned. If you let the enemy win with one guy left on their team, you suck, man. you should be ashamed of yourself. But ultimately here, I'm just trying to survive as long as I can. You know, as you can see, I'm just like taking little pot shots. I'm not risking at this point. I'm not risking taking any damage here. Just trying my best to honestly just survive and just lay in a little more damage if I can. I have no aspirations of winning this at all. I just want to seem cool to the guys that are still watching my perspective. As you can see, there's a little bit of encouragement here. I think the only guy left watching the game on my team is just like, you got this, man. And this is where it all goes south. They're coming at me from two sides here. Shoots me in the back. Not great, not great. I was not going to end up winning that one because there were just too many guys on the objective. And I very much doubt I'd be able to draw them away long enough for me to actually capture it. But on the bright side, I did end up doing 599 damage. Let's just call it 600. 600 damage, which is the most damage I've ever done with a medium mech. Again, I'm sure you can do a lot more with a medium, but that's just my personal best, so I was really proud of that. And I still went up in rank. So even though the team lost, I'm glad to see that the game recognized that I was fucking awesome. Take that, fucking MechWarrior in your ranking system. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll leave it there. I'm very, very excited to play more with this Shadowcat Streak build. Oh baby, just a reminder that the build link to the build is in the description. So again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.